Okay, well here we have the heater controller of the 76 C10. Um, um, what's obviously wrong with it is the heater defrost lever is broken off. You know, probably something was seized up in the heater box or cable was stuck and someone forced it. Or who knows what happened. These things are made of, I don't know if it's pot metal or what, but it's as most people that work on this stuff knows, it doesn't take much to break them. On some of them, usually they're fine as long as you don't do nothing stupid with them, where they hang up and you force them. They'll usually be okay. But actually, all the cables seem to be free on this. So anyway, this is not really. I don't know if I would call this going to be a how-to video because. Unless you're a machinist, home machinist, and have a milling machine. So I have a plan. I don't know if this is really going to be a how-to video or not. Just depends on, I guess, what you're capable of doing. But this is how I am going to do it, as you'll see in a moment. There's probably different ways of fixing this, but I'm just going to make a whole new piece, and of course, it could replace the whole thing. Could find one online, but why do that? Why pay the extra money when I think I can make one? Junkyard would be the next best option, but around here there's not too many junkyards that are any good or open anymore, so that are nearby anyway. So I'm going to see what I can do to fix this. I think I know what I'm going to do. So I'm going to get this disassembled. Whatever this material is, it seems to conduct heat pretty fast. Alright, we got it all stripped down. Now we got to start looking for a replacement piece. Well, a chunk of material to make one out of. Okay, so we're here on the milling machine here. Looks like the camera's almost out of battery, so hopefully I can catch most of everything. Didn't really set this up quite right because I was trying to figure it out as I was going along. And I should have left more material earlier because the idea was to cut this out with the mill. But what I'm going to have to do is go so far and then stop and then probably come back and cut the edge because I don't want to go into the vise. So anyway, that didn't work out quite right. I should have left more material back here so I could sweep back and cut around it. Well, I didn't do that, so I already started cutting here a little bit, and I was slicing there. Had to cut this down and make it fit in the vise. I decided I didn't need to cut it there. Anyway, I was doing pretty good until I turned the table the wrong direction, since I'm not a pro machinist and don't practice completely down. I somehow misadvertently I was doing good till I backed it the wrong way, so I got a little chunk here that shouldn't be there, but it's okay. It doesn't matter to me. This isn't going to be perfect. This isn't trying to be perfect, really. Just trying to be something that's going to be functional. another piece. It's far from perfect. I'm going to clean it up on the belt sander a little bit. We'll see what we had to work with here. See if it's anywhere near what it's supposed to be dimension-wise. Okay, let's see what we've done here. Fruitful or not. Yeah, it looks alright, I suppose. This could have been probably a little bit narrower. Which probably could be fixed still. Well, actually, it can be fixed still. Well, it's almost kind of done. Didn't turn out perfect, but it's should be functional. Made a piece there, bolted it through there, so I have my spring tensioner thing there. A lot of mistakes I made on it doing it, but you know, and was it worth it? Probably not, but I mean, it'll be functional anyway. Spent a lot of time doing this, way more than I had planned. But I kind of was one of those things where I got into it. I was like, okay, this is going to be more work than it's probably worth, or, you know, than I originally thought, you know. But then I was like, at that point was in so far, I was like, you know what, I may as well finish it. So I'd already had this cut out, you know. But I saved quite a bit of money trying to find one of these, which, you know, could have been done. I'm sure for someone out there it might be very easy to find one. And it could be, if I had really looked, I could have got a deal on them. But really, I knew I could make one, so. It could have been all done with a bandsaw. Didn't have to use the mill to cut it out. but bandsaw is broken, or I need a new blade for it. So, and I may try to find either original one of these to put on here, and I'd have to probably mill it thinner, or make my own or something. For now, that's fine. I just want to have it working right now. I'm kind of in a hurry to get this. I want to get this back in the truck, get the truck back together so I can get driving it. So, and get to some other things on it. So, little things like that I can come back to later on if I decide it bugs me. Simpler way of doing this would have been if you had a couple like universal choke cables or something. You could have rigged them up. You know, of course, some people would say, why would you even do that? Well, I probably would. You could have drilled a couple holes in here, put a couple pull cables, maybe made new labels for it or something, you know. But things that could have been done a simpler, faster way of doing things. Or, of course, you could have just went out and found a whole nother one, paid the bucks and bought a whole nother one of these, and it would have fixed your problem. But anyway, we're going to finish getting this back together, and we got to get it back in the truck. And when it's all put together working, we'll show it to you. Now I should add this in, not that any of you watching this are going to be like me and try to copy this, but basically the little rubber rollers, which kind of barely really roll because it probably should have drilled them bigger, but I didn't want to drill too big where you know, it's all messed up. So I had so much material to work with. I had to make little spacers to go in here because originally it would have been, you know, whatever it was painted over or riveted or however it was done. So I put the bolt through there, screw through there, and it's got a metal spacer sandwiched in between, and then the screws sticking up there. And then your cables will come down and sit on top. They'll hook down on those. And I'll either, the original snap little things that go on are little too, this is slightly smaller where they don't fit tight like they should, so might take a nylon a nut or a nylon lock nut, whatever, put on there, or you can stack a couple nuts together to keep from popping off. But anyway, that's what we did. Well, here we are with the truck here, coming along pretty good. Got the new tires on it. Still gotta wash the truck. So I'm actually gonna, don't know if I'll do that today or not, but I'm waiting for a good warm day to do it. But anyway, we're working on, let's see, got the parking brake pedal assembly. The teeth were stripped out on it, and it didn't want to hold down anymore, so it was kind of like intermittently working, and I thought, well, maybe it just needs oil, so I put some oil on it, and then it wouldn't hold down at all anymore. So I was like, okay, great. So anyway, managed to get out to one of the old junkyards. There's not too many in operation locally here, but there's one that was open and it was kind of closed down. They've kind of sort of opened, I guess, where they at least let me in anyway. I called them and asked if they had one. They said, yeah, come out and get it. So that's down there. Wasn't too bad. I believe it came off an 80. It was an early 80s truck, but I think it was an 80, but it seems like they said it was 82. I'm not sure. I wasn't paying that too much attention when I was there. I mean, I kind of was, but wasn't. So bolts broke off on the back of the whatever. I think those are like, I don't know if they're stamped in there, welded. I don't know how those are worked. Heat pressed in there, riveted. I don't know how to. Anyway, I just drilled. They broke off, or one broke off. The bolt on the inside came out fine, but the one, I believe it was the bottom one, through the firewall, just stripped out, and I couldn't get vice grips or anything on it. I was trying with vice grips. Finally, I was like, hey, do you have a grinder around? And they finally said, here you go. and I went out there and cut it off, so that took care of that. Working on some kind of makeshift floor pans over there. I know it's frowned upon, but I put some sheet metal down. But it's my truck, I can do what I want with it. So anyway, for now anyway, someday if I decide to put new proper floor pans in, I will. But for right now, I'm just want to get this thing up and running. I need to have getting this thing running to actually drive here, because my other truck is developing some issues, and I just want to get this truck up and running so I can drive it, and I can fix up the other truck or whatever else projects come next, which I've got plenty of those. So anyway, there's the heater control. That turned out pretty good. It works just fine. Now, I don't have a blower in here yet, or in the fan blower. I need to take it apart. I'm going to try to oil the motor, possibly. The hood is kind of weird, but did get it sort of latching. Need to find a better hood still. Having trouble getting it lined up, but coming along anyway. So that's that. See, I still gotta put the blower motor in, and the next thing is going to be the wiper motor. And it's a little dusty and dirty, but it's together and running anyway. So, but we're going to work on that parking brake cable. So that's how it's coming along anyway. Okay, so what you're looking at right now is the windshield wiper motor out of the 76 Chevy. I have it all tore apart. So basically it wasn't working. I was messing around with it, got it sort where it would run, but it's not doesn't want to take off unless you move the shaft a little bit, the motor shaft, and then it'll take off. It'll run once it gets going. So basically, first off, I'm kind of like, thinking, okay, it's got to be brushes. So the brushes do look wore, and it could be wore, but I did notice this little green spot, just cruddy looking spot here. I'm wondering if that's where it's been sitting on one of the brushes for several years, and it's, corrosion or whatever there. And maybe when I shut it off, sometimes it's stopping on that. Maybe, possibly. So I'm going to try to take some fine sandpaper or something and try to polish this up a little bit, or at least clean that crud off of there. And we'll see what happens. There's also this, I'm guessing that's a like a overheat safety switch. I could try cleaning that as well. But I think I'm going to try that, because I think that might be the issue. Well, here's a little update on the truck. It's been a while since the last video I filmed. Any filming that was done on this was a while ago, probably several months ago. So it's running, it's driving. There's a lot I didn't show in the videos, but I really wanted to get it driving, and it just the project was dragging on, and I just kind of got to the point where I had to get stuff done and just didn't really feel up to setting up the camera for everything. But anyway, it is running and driving now. I've been driving it for a few months, pretty much daily driving it. It still needs a lot of work, but we've done quite a bit to it. We got the new tires on there, put the new toolbox in the back. got some antennas on a little bit there, and got some radios in there. It's kind of a mess in there right now, but I'll show more of that stuff another time. But this hood is the same one I had before. It's not perfect, but maybe someday I'll find a better one for it. But I mean, it doesn't really matter. The rest of the truck's not perfect anyway. So, but I really enjoyed driving it. I like the truck, so really excited to actually be able to get out and drive it after all these years, especially after quite a bit of time of working on it. So anyway, just, I don't know how long this video is going to be, or how I've got quite a bit of video footage of stuff I've got to put together, and I don't know where I'm at because it's several months back. I've forgotten. So anyway, there'll be more videos of this, I'm sure. But anyway, it is running and driving. I still got to do some floorboard work and quite a few things still on it. It has an exhaust leak. Just been working the bugs out. I had one of the intake manifold, the gasket between the intake and exhaust manifold blew out on me, so I replaced it. And it was good for a while, but it's developed a leak again. I've just been driving it that way because it's my daily driver, and I haven't really wanted to take it apart. Except for maybe on a weekend or something, I'll have to do it. But I need to get it fixed. But so anyway, that's the update. There'll be more to come in the future, I'm sure. Thanks for watching.
Good afternoon, Minnesota. Good afternoon, Minnesota. Let's get the one guy's name. You Brian or Frank? Baby's kid. I forget his name. Good on you, Brian. Hey,